Racing to the 2023 Kentucky Oaks, and this time we go on the Oaks Trail with a 10-point race. The Demoiselle Stakes, it's all part of a big card in New York. It's Cigar Mile Day. We've got a preview up of the Cigar Mile. We've got a preview up of the Remsen Stakes. And today we're going to take a look at the 1 1/8 Grade 2 Demoiselle Stakes. And last year we did have a couple of runners out of the Demoiselle end up making the Kentucky Oaks. And the Demoiselle Stakes drew 7 horses. Let's take a look at this field starting at the rail. We've got Foggy Night, who picked up a victory. That was 2 races back by 11 lengths, but it was done at Parks. Kozan and a Florida bred, 4 lifetime starts, just the 1 win, but a couple of seconds. Royal Spa made his debut, a winning one. Got a nice pedigree by Violence out of a Mineshaft mare. Bet down to 3-1 in her debut. Drew off to the victory with Tyler Gaff Leone. Joel Rosario jumps in the saddle this time for trainer Rudolph Brousset. Julia Shining will be the race favorite, trained by Todd Pletcher. She's by Curlin. Drew a lot of rave reviews after her last place to first place finish in her debut. She was favored that day. Luis Saez coming off a big win, big winning day at Churchill Downs. He is the jockey. We'll take a look at Julia Shining and the nice pedigree on her in just a moment. La Vida Sofia has a little bit of experience. 4th last out in the Tempted. I think she's better than that. Ran off to a nice win in the Slop 2-back. Affirmative Lady by Arrogate. Still a maiden, but trained by Graham Motion in this race. John Velasquez rides. He's been riding in both of her career races as she stretches out. Gambling Girl, the only stakes winner, a New York bred stakes win. And then Tribal Queen on the outside. First crop of Bolt d'Oro. Anthony Dutrow trains 3 lifetime starts, but picked up that win last time out at 6 furlongs at Aqueduct. So that is a look at the 7-horse field. Let's take a look at this field. You know, I think normally the Demoiselle and the Remsen, they're known for their slow fractions. A lot of times we can get the Demoiselle runner to run a little bit faster by her speed figure than even the Remsen Stakes winner. And in the Remsen, I'm expecting a slow pace. And here in this race, I also think it could be slow because you got a couple of horses stretching out, a couple of horses that have already kind of faded at that mile distance. I think the top contenders on the betting board, you're going to have Julia Shining. She's a full sister to Malathot, of course, who won the Kentucky Oaks in 2021. She won the 2022 Breeders' Cup Distaff. She was also trained by Todd Pletcher. Todd Pletcher trains Julia Shining. And then Foggy Night picked up a nice win, 2-back, drew the rail. I think she'll get some support in here, along with Royal Spa. The only stakes winner in this race is the New York bred Gambling Girl. So she's really the class of the field. The rest of them are maidens. Let's take a look at the video spotlight. A couple of runners. Julia Shining winning first time out. Bet down to the favorite at Keeneland. You see her making a move from last place. Gets going into the turn. Draws off to the big victory. She was popular at the windows that day. A lot of buzz after that victory. But the speed figure was not that big, and it'll be interesting to see how that 71 speed figure shapes up with this field. Now, another horse winning first time out was Royal Spa. Royal Spa with a 62 buyer speed figure. That was winning at Churchill Downs, but again, a long drive. You look at this video, she came from off the pace, started to make her move, took her a while to wear down that leader, and really didn't get to the leader until the final strides. Got the job done at Churchill Downs. Joel Rosario is going to ride this one. Joel Rosario riding well lately. He's also got a runner in the Remsen Stakes. Could be a big day for him. So Julia Shining and Royal Spa with big wins. Let's take a look at the pace. Foggy Night could be on the lead, especially drawing the rail. I don't think Julia Shining wants the lead. So Foggy Night, maybe Royal Spa, but I'm going to put Royal Spa and La Vida Sofia as the pressers in this race. And then the closer, I'm going to go with Julia Shining. Todd Pletcher usually doesn't like to ask his 2-year-olds for a lot of speed. He's done well the last couple of years in the Kentucky Oaks. He's had Malathot winning the Kentucky Oaks. This year he had a nice runner in Nest, and Nest came back to win some big races at Saratoga after losing the Kentucky Oaks. My selection in this race, I think Julia's Shining is going to be a big favorite, and I just don't want to take that low of a price with no real edge in the speed figure. I'm going to go with Royal Spa. She's even slower on paper than Julia's Shining, but I think she'll at least be a higher price. Joe Rosario rides. I'm going to play Exactas over Julia's Shining and La Vida Sofia. So my top pick, Royal Spa. Also, if you're looking for a little bit of a price play, look at La Vida Sofia. She's a New York bred, 3-length win at 1 mile. She debuted on the turf. This is her 4th lifetime start. She could have a little bit more experience than the maiden winners in Julia Shining and Royal Spa. Don't forget, we've got previews up of the Cigar Mile and the Demoiselle Stakes. Who do you like? And the Remsen Stakes. Don't forget, who do you like in the Demoiselle Stakes? Leave a comment. And don't forget, we've got more action coming up, a racing recap on Saturday, and the weekly Juvenile Speed Report. As D. Wayne Lucas always says, people have opinions, horses have the facts.